Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Joyce Ahivaime. This is Jaygirl's Couture, and this channel I will be teaching sewing tutorials, fashion DIYs that are simple, straight to the point, for beginners, for intermediate, and for even advanced sewists. So if you'd like to learn how to make this beautiful dress that's on the thumbnail, please let's get right into the video. However, please subscribe to my channel. I just started out and I hope to make your acquaintance. Thank you so much, and please comment on where you are. Today guys, we'll be needing an Ankara fabric or any piece of fabric, some pins, tailor's chalk, a tape measure of course, a ruler, and a pair of scissors. So Ankara, as we all know, is by 45 inches, and on this width we're using 60 inches in total. On the fold it is 30 inches, and I'm folding again, which is 2 folds to give me 15 inches in total, and I'm just pressing it flat to ensure that it's laying flat. So I'm starting with the starting line, of which on fold now, and double fold is 15 inches width. So my shoulder width is 7 inches because it's a sleeveless dress, coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and my neck width is 3.25 inches. So from that 1 inch on the shoulder slope, I'm going to use 8 inches for the armhole. And I'm going to join my shoulder slope to my neck width. Here I am forming the chest line. I'm going to just measure the same thing I have on the shoulder, which is 7 inches, and I'll join it to the starting line. So I just outline my chest line. Then from my shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. And then to my hips is 25 inches. And then to the full length, which is 43 inches, because I don't want it to be too long. It's just right below the knee. I'm going to outline it again and get 43 inches here to enable me get a straight line for my hemline. So I'm just extending the points on the lines, and I am not marking through and through because sometimes tailor's chalk is difficult to erase. So that's my hemline, and I'm just outlining them. So guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. So here on my bust, I am using 10.5 inches because I'm making this dress for a size 14, and the waist is 10 inches. And the hips, we're going to be disregarding it. However, we're using 11 inches. And of course, on the hemline, we're using 15 inches, but I have a bit of a tear there. So there's a way I'm going to do it. So I'm just adding half an inch sewing allowance to all the points I have marked out. If you want to add more sewing allowance to yours, it is totally fine. I'm a ready to wear designer, so I don't add too much inches sewing allowance to my dress because try to avoid any form of bulkiness. So here I just connect from my shoulder to my waist, and I'm using a straight ruler to connect from my waist to the hemline. So like I said, there's a bit of tear on my fabric. However, when I outline the hemline properly, I'll be able to add more volume to that to achieve the width that I want for my hemline. Um, so on my neck depth, for the back neck depth, I'm using 1.2 inches. Pardon me. So I'm marking it from the width, from the starting of the width, so I can get a straight line. This is the way I learned many years ago how to create a nice curve for your neckline. So watch carefully and just follow. For beginners, this will enable you to make perfect neck curves. This method is one in town. I taught myself how to use that method. Anyway, so for the front neck depth, I'm using 5 inches. So I'm still going to use the same method I use for the freehand. Watch closely and follow as shown. That way you're able to, you know, make your very nice curve. It prevents you from making the neck too wide. Yeah, that's it. So take your time, no rushing. Practice makes perfect. So take your time. There's no competition. So this is it. This is what it looks like. Simple, right? Very. This is a cheat code for you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for liking, for subscribing. Please share. I am new here and help me grow. So I'm going to create my armhole. So from my shoulder slope, I'm marking 4 inches, which is the half of my armhole, and I'm coming in by 0.4 inch for my back armhole. I'm going to make a slight curve there with that curve ruler, although this is not an armhole ruler, so it's not going to give me the perfect curve. So when I make that curve there, I'm just going to finish it with my freehand method. Like I said, again, you can do this if you take time to practice it. So I'm going to mark from that 0.4, I'm going to mark 0.5 for my front armhole. So again, I'm using the curve ruler to achieve that curve right before I finish it off with my free hand. Then afterwards, I'm going to proceed to measuring the circumference of the armhole. For a small size, you should achieve 23 centimeters after sewing. For a free dress, for a fitted dress is about 19, 20 or 21. So from here, you should have at least 26.5 to 28 centimeters for the total armhole before stitching. So here I'm adding 0.5 inch sewing allowance to my shoulder seam for the back panel. This will enable me to achieve that proper comfort because the back is always longer. So on the waist, I'm just smoothing it out to achieve a good curve. So on the hemline, I came up by 2.5 inches to create the kind of hem I want for my dress. I want it to look like a skater dress somehow. It's just a little stylish. You'll see it. I'm going to show you the outcome of it. So I'm just using my ruler to smoothen it out to create that nice curve. So it's not too curvy, so I don't have difficulty in stitching it because I don't want to use a bias to finish it. So here I'm just trying to look for a way to add more volume to, like I said, I couldn't achieve the 15 inches for my hem width. So I'm just adding a little bit more volume to it because now that I came up with 2.5, that here is a bit gone. So I'm just using my curve ruler to add a bit of, silhouette curve to that waist to give it some nice curve there. And then I'll just smoothen it out because we don't want any sharp edge. So there you go. This is it. Smoothing it out. That's the piece of volume I added. And that's the 2.5 like you can see there. And there you go. So if you want more volume, you have to add more fabrics and just fold it. So you can see the front and the back armhole curve there. Very perfect. So cut out and let's go get sewing. Mhm. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing all right. Um, Subsequent videos are going to be better than this one because I'm just starting out and I'm learning the ropes. So from now, I'm going to be filming overhead shots. It's going to be easier for me and easier for you to see everything as I'm marking on the go. So here I'm just separating the back from the front, and from the front I'm removing that 0.5 that I added to the shoulder, and I'm cutting out the front neckline. So I am also trimming off the excess allowance from that armhole area for the front panel, and just right before I go to the sewing machine. So this is me putting right sides facing each other for the front and the back. So for the back, I am going to slit it to give it an opening for easy access. So I'm using 4 inches and I'll just slit it open. And I'm going to use a bias with the fabric to cover it. That's the first thing I'm going to stitch before stitching the shoulder seams and then the side seams before, closing the neck and the armhole. So now we're going to the machine to start. Here I am just putting the bias as I folded it. It's 2 inches and I folded it in the bias way. And I'm just going to use it to coat it. So this method is more like the method you see that is used to make plackets on shirts or even tops. After stitching, you will not see it will be invisible. You just use your hook and eye to, you know, create the closing for it. So here I'm stitching the shoulder seams. And then yeah, the side seams, like I said, this is easy to make. In 30 minutes, you should be done with this. The only work here is that will take your time will be using bias tape to finish the neck and the armholes. Aside that, it's just pretty straightforward and easy to get done. So I'm repeating the same, stitching the other side seam, and then here you go. So guys, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave a comment. If you want this dress to be made in a smaller size, let me know. So if you have a serger, go ahead and serge raw edges. If you don't, use the French seam method to sew this dress or use your zigzag to finish the raw edges. If you don't have a serger, like I said, you're going to fold the hemline twice and sew on 0.5 inch sewing allowance. That's what you use to stitch. And then you'll finish the armholes with a bias tape and also with the neck, you finish it with a bias tape. Here I am just serging. Guys, I hope you guys are doing all right. And I hope you're holding out well. I hope everything is working out for you. Don't worry about the economy. I know things are a little difficult, but yeah, we will scale through this. Focus on the business that pays you. There is no point worrying because if you worry, it's not going to solve the problem. So, like I said, I am serging and just finishing off all raw edges and cutting off excess threads before I finish this sewing. And excuse me, this is very simple and very easy. You'll finish this in 30 minutes or so. So I'm stitching the hem for the dress. And guys, before you make any long stitch, find out if your bobbin has enough thread so you don't have to be joining threads for a perfect finish. So I'm using 2 centimeters sewing allowance for this hemline. It's more like 3/4 inch or so. So because of the curve on the hemline, you have a bit of some excess there. So as you're stitching, it's just like when you're stitching the circle dress. So for any bulge or any excess, you just, it's a bit of a gather. It's just the tailor's thing. You see how I'm doing it? It's not going to show anywhere. Once you finish your iron, it's going to lay flat and easy. So that's it. Like I said, if you don't have a serger, you double fold and hem. So here I'm just finishing off with the bias tape to close my neckline and my armholes. If you need me to do a detailed tutorial on how I do this, I learned from a French lady. I'm going to make a short video to show you how I achieve this perfect finishing. Okay, so yes, I'm just creating some snips there to relax the neck and the armhole before I finish it off. That way, after sewing, it's just going to lay nice and flat. So this is how I close it. So it's easier for me and it's beautiful. Like I said, I own a ready-to-wear brand. So I try to make my dresses unique because from the name of my brand is a couture fashion. So even if it's a simple dress, it is made in the best quality. So this is the dress, guys. Finished and I've ironed it and it's nice. and flat. Do not give out clothes without ironing it. It makes no sense that it makes no sense at all. So I am going to the remaining fabric. I'm going to use it to make a belt to accentuate the waist of this dress. I can wear it with or without belt, but this is not my dress. It's for a customer. And yes, I am just the measurement is 2.5 inches by 86 inches. So I'm just finishing off so you can see what it looks like. So guys, take care of yourself. Thank you for watching this video and for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for see what the dress looks like without belt. And so there you go. Just take your time. There's no need to rush. There's no need to be perfect. You're doing excellent. So for more videos, subscribe to my channels